Whew. Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. So this is going to be a short show only because I just need to get through the news real quick. I'm not going to be able to bring up all the numbers. I'll be able to tell you about the numbers, but let's get into it. 21 Shares has filed their S-1 amendments, making the deadline. Unfortunately, Invesco Galaxy did not meet the deadline for their S-1 amendments. So they probably will not be a part of that first set of, or first wave of Ethereum spot ETFs to be approved. And the date for that could be July 18th. We have to wait and see, but it could be July 18th. Another important thing that's going on July 18th is Grayscale is actually using that as their record date for the initial creation and distribution of shares of their Grayscale Ethereum Mini ETF. So that's going to be interesting to see just what happens on the 18th. DigitalX secured approval for their Bitcoin spot ETF in Australia. That's the second one in the country. Although it's the second one in the country, it still hasn't taken off there just yet. We'll see how it goes. Now, the German government is doing things a bit oddly. I want you to listen to this. So yesterday alone, they sold over 16,000 BTC on one side. Then on the other side, they went back and bought 3,673 BTC. Odd. So they sold high, bought back low, and they bought back only a portion of that 16. But I also noticed in my research is that they didn't just sell open market, but they had transferred to certain wallets that were also associated with OTC transactions. Still, the overall market impact is felt as if everything was done on the open market. So and they still have a bit of money left to a bit of Bitcoin left to actually sell. So that's something to think about. Now, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson says that the release of Cardano's Node 9.0.0 is right there. Now, what that means is if they get 70% of the validators to actually test and upgrade, then the Chang hard fork will happen immediately thereafter. That's going to be interesting. And then, of course, you have the new constitution that has to be voted on later this year. So there's a lot going on with Cardano that could see Cardano skyrocket. So I'm looking forward to that. Consensus unveiled a new plan, a new software to help people onboard or better onboard Web3 projects, mostly smart contracts. It's called the ETH and it is delegation toolkit. So I'm expecting that to actually help people get there. And I'm actually seeing that MetaMask is not playing games. Consensus is not playing games. They're reaching out. Notice how I told you last week, Consensus bought another company that would, what is it called? Wallet Guard, that would actually help further secure MetaMask. And I'm thinking, yeah, these are very good things because they're paying attention to what's going on out there with a lot of wallet hacks. So I like what they're doing so far. Binance has expanded support for a few coins. Let me name them for you. FET, which is going to become ASI, Floki, NOT, and ZRO, which is, I believe that's zero layer. So that's something to think about. Just saying that those are coins that they're now picking up, which is very good. Now, something else that I didn't notice is that there are some ETFs that are being purchased by banks. So City State Bank, I believe that's in Iowa, and the Bank of New Hampshire both disclosed investments in both Grayscale's ETFs and BlackRock's ETFs. All of that is quite interesting to me. Now, I know this is going to be a short show. However, I hope I gave you a lot of information that you can play with. Now, if you stop and you think about this, just give it a little bit more thought as to what's positive that's going on in the crypto space. What you have going on is great expansion in the reach of crypto, the acceptance of crypto, and mind you, the integration of crypto technology. So we were talking about this last night, and what happens is not only do we have adoption here and now, right, from retail investment and institutional investment, But from the institutional investment side, you've got a much larger expansion in the integration of crypto technology. And that is huge. So I'm sitting back and I'm just thinking to myself, so how positive is that? Then we're given a date for a possible date for Ethereum spot ETFs of July 18th. So that's a good day. Cardano, with releasing its software, right, and releasing it to the validators and having a clear roadmap for the Chang hard fork, another good piece of good news. Then further down the line, what do you have? A possible end to the SEC case against Ripple. Then further down the line from that, what do you have? You've got a possible rate decrease by the Fed, possibly in September. So you've got a long road of positive events that are going on. The only thing that we have to worry about is next year's debt ceiling problem. But I don't know that that's going to be a problem for crypto, because that's a problem for the United States in that, well, they're probably going to have to vote to raise the debt ceiling, and they're going to have to have some kind of come to the Lord meeting about, well, we're spending too much. Well, what is spending? Spending is not things like, Medicare, Medicaid, that stuff we actually pay for. Social Security, that stuff we pay for. What we're spending on are tax cuts. That's not what they want to tell you. But every time there's a tax cut, that has to be paid for. So all those tax cuts that happened in the past, well, now we've got to look forward and think about, well, how are we going to handle those tax cuts now? How are we going to pay for them? Remember, we've got over $32 trillion in debt, and we pay over $1 trillion just in interest alone every year. And that number is growing. So as I think about what's going on with the debt ceiling and everything else, I sit back. We could be incredibly busy trying to pay bills, which is why there are a lot of people out there saying, if we continue this spending, we're going to go broke. Well, yeah, supposedly these are all very smart people, but none of them have the other part of this coming out, which is we need to stop giving tax cuts. We need the rich and the wealthy to pay their fair share, and we need corporations to pay their fair share. This is what we're talking about, because all of this is very, very simple. I mean, simple in terms of understanding it, which is why when I look at that situation and I look at crypto, I can see a lot of people moving to crypto to protect their assets. So what do? You buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not like any other coin that's out there in that you can leverage Bitcoin to get loans and other things and not just pay for things. So I'm thinking that debt ceiling problems could actually wind up in the long run being good for the crypto space. Anyway, this is going to be a short show, and I said that before, I'm saying it again, but I hope you enjoyed it. Tell your friends to sign up, become subscribers, invite them to the 8 p.m. live show that I do, and hopefully all ships rise and all our bags grow. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.